Hi my Capricorn, welcome back. I need to talk to you about something that just came through in this reading, and honestly, the energy here is unlike anything I have seen in a while. We are going to be looking at 6 cards today, and what they are showing me is absolutely wild. Someone out there, someone who has built their entire existence around a certain way of being, a certain structure, a certain level of control over their reality, just experienced something they have never experienced before. And Capricorn, you are the reason why. Before we get into this, I want you to understand that this reading is specifically about the impact you have had on someone else's world. This is not about you struggling or you going through something difficult. This is about you being so authentically yourself, so aligned with your truth, that you have literally caused a massive shift in someone else's entire empire. Their foundation, their sense of security, everything they thought was untouchable just got touched by you. The first card I am getting is the 4 of Swords, and this is fascinating because this card is showing me that there was a period of complete stillness. Someone had to literally stop everything. Capricorn, think about this for a second. The 4 of Swords represents rest, recovery, contemplation. But in this context, it is not a peaceful rest. This is a forced timeout. This is someone who got hit with such a profound realization about themselves, about their situation, about what they thought they knew, that they had to completely withdraw and process what just happened. What I am seeing here is that you did something, or you said something, or you simply existed in your truth in such a way that it caused this person to have a complete mental reset. They are lying there in the 4 of Swords, not because they want to, but because they have to. Their mind is trying to catch up with the reality you just showed them. For possibly the first time in their life, someone has made them question everything they built. Their strategies, their manipulations, their control tactics, none of it worked on you. And that has left them absolutely stunned. This person is someone who is used to winning. They are used to having the upper hand. They are used to people falling in line with whatever narrative they create. But you, Capricorn, you did not fall in line. You saw through it. You stood firm. You probably did not even realize how much power you actually had in that moment, but you wielded it beautifully. The 4 of Swords is showing me that this person is in a state of shock. They are replaying everything in their mind, trying to figure out where they went wrong, trying to understand how someone like you managed to see past all of their carefully constructed facades. The beautiful thing about this card is that it also represents a necessary pause before a new straight. So while they are sitting there trying to recover from what you just did to their ego, they are also realizing that their old ways will not work anymore. You have fundamentally changed the game for them. They cannot go back to who they were before they encountered you. That version of themselves, that version of their empire, it is damaged now. You put a dent in it, a big one. Let me pull the next card because I want to see what else is coming through about this situation. The Star card just came out, and wow, okay. This is making so much sense now. The Star is about hope, renewal, healing, and divine guidance. But in this reading, it is telling me something very specific about you, Capricorn. You are the Star in this scenario. You represent something this person has never encountered before. You represent authenticity. You represent genuine self-belief. You represent someone who does not need external validation to know their worth. The Star is interesting because it comes after the Tower in the tarot deck. The Tower is about complete destruction, everything falling apart, chaos. And the Star is the calm after the storm, the hope that emerges when everything else has been stripped away. What I am getting here is that you have been the Tower event in this person's life, but you yourself are operating from Star energy. You are not trying to destroy anyone. You are not out here trying to cause chaos. You are simply being your authentic self, shining your light, following your own path. But to someone who has built their entire existence on illusions and control, your authenticity is the Tower. Your light exposes their darkness. Your clarity reveals their confusion. This person looked at you and saw something they do not have. They saw someone who is comfortable in their own skin. Someone who does not need to manipulate or control to feel powerful. Someone who has genuine confidence, not the fake kind that comes from putting others down. The Star shows me that you have been doing your inner work, Capricorn. You have been healing. You have been connecting with your higher self. You have been pouring into your own cup. And that energy, that vibration, it is so pure and so strong that it completely disrupted someone who operates on a much lower frequency. I also want to point out that the star is a very vulnerable card. The figure in the card is naked, exposed, pouring water onto the land. There is no armor, no protection, no pretense. This tells me that you have reached a point in your life where you are willing to be vulnerable, to be seen as you truly are. And that vulnerability, Capricorn, that is what really got to this person. Because they cannot do that. They cannot be vulnerable. Their entire empire is built on appearing strong, appearing perfect, appearing untouchable. But you showed them that real strength comes from authenticity, from being willing to be seen without all the masks. And that absolutely terrified them because it highlighted everything they are not. The energy here is also showing me that you are moving into a period of even greater alignment with your purpose. The star is guiding you forward. Whatever you did to shake up this person's world, it was not a what I'm thing. It was a reflection of who you are becoming. Someone who cannot be manipulated. Someone who sees through illusions. Someone who stands in their truth no matter what. Let me see what the third card has to say about how this person is responding to all of this. Four of Cups is here and this is perfect. Do you see what is happening? Capricorn, this person is sitting there in their feelings, arms crossed, completely disengaged. The Four of Cups represents apathy, discontent, missed opportunities, being so stuck in your own head that you cannot see what is right in front of you. This person is sulking. They are in their emotions about what happened. They are refusing to acknowledge the truth you showed them because it is too uncomfortable. What I am seeing is that this person had everything they thought they wanted. They had their empire, their control, their sense of superiority. But you came along and showed them that none of it actually means anything if it is built on lies. The Four of Cups shows someone who is being offered a cup by the universe, a new opportunity, a chance to grow, but they are too stubborn to take it. They would rather sit there feeling sorry for themselves than actually do the work to change. This is someone who is used to external validation. They are used to people telling them how great they are, how powerful they are, how untouchable they are. But you did not give them that validation. You probably did not even engage with their games. You just existed in your truth and that was enough to completely destabilize them. Now they are sitting there with 3 cups in front of them representing all the fake achievements, all the surface level success, all the hollow victories. But that 4th cup, the one being offered by the universe, that represents real growth, real transformation, real authenticity. And they cannot even see it because they are so consumed by their ego being bruised. The Four of Cups in this position is showing me that this person is going to resist the lesson you taught them for a while. They are going to try to convince themselves that you were the problem, that you were jealous, that you were threatened by them, whatever narrative helps them sleep at night. But deep down in the quiet moments, they know the truth. They know that you saw right through them. They know that you were not impressed by their facade. They know that you represent something real that they have never been able to achieve. This card is also showing me a sense of boredom or dissatisfaction with what they have. All the things they worked so hard to build, all the people they manipulated to get ahead, all the lies they told to maintain their image, suddenly it all feels empty, because you showed them what real fulfillment looks like. You showed them what it means to be genuinely content with who you are. And now everything they have feels like a cheap imitation. Capricorn, I want you to understand how powerful this is. You did not have to do anything extraordinary. You did not have to call them out publicly. You did not have to expose them. You simply had to be yourself. That was enough. Your presence alone was enough to make someone question their entire existence. That is the kind of impact you are having right now. Let me pull the 4th card to see where this energy is heading. 8 of Cups, and I am actually getting chills right now, because this is showing me that someone is preparing to walk away from everything they built. The 8 of Cups is one of the most profound cards in the deck because it represents the courage to leave behind what no longer serves you, even when it looks good on the outside. This person is going to eventually walk away from their empire. Not because you forced them to, not because you destroyed it, but because you showed them that it was never real to begin with. What I am seeing here is a journey. The Eight of Cups shows a figure walking away from 8 stacked cups, leaving under the cover of night, heading toward the mountains. This is not an easy decision. This is not something they want to do. But you planted a seed in their consciousness that is going to grow whether they like it or not. You showed them that there is another way to live. A way that does not require constant manipulation. A way that does not require stepping on others to feel tall. A way that is based on authenticity rather than illusion. The fascinating thing about this card appearing here is that it suggests this person might actually choose growth eventually. Right now they are in the Four of Cups, sulking and refusing to see the truth. But the Eight of Cups indicates that at some point, they are going to realize they cannot keep living the way they have been living. The dent you put in their empire is going to turn into a crack. That crack is going to spread. Eventually, the whole thing is going to crumble. And when it does, they are going to have to make a choice about who they want to be. This is someone who built their identity around external things. Status, power, control, image. But you showed them that none of those things matter if you are empty inside. The Eight of Cups is about seeking emotional fulfillment, spiritual truth, deeper meaning. This person is going to go on that journey because of you. You are the catalyst for their transformation, whether they want to admit it or not. I also want to mention that the Eight of Cups can represent disappointment with what you have achieved. This person thought that once they reached a certain level, once they had a certain amount of power or success, they would feel complete. But they do not. They feel empty. And meeting you, seeing your genuine contentment, your authentic power, that made them realize how hollow their achievements really are. So they are going to walk away. Maybe not today, maybe not next month, but eventually, they are going to leave behind everything they thought defined them because you showed them it was all just a house of cards. Capricorn, the role you played in this is beautiful. You are not responsible for their healing. You are not responsible for their journey, but you were the mirror that showed them the truth. That is powerful. Let me see what the fifth card wants to tell us. Two of Swords just appeared, and this makes complete sense with everything we have been seeing. The Two of Swords represents indecision, avoidance, being at a crossroads. This person is stuck. They are blindfolded in this card, holding to swords in perfect balance, refusing to make a choice. What I am getting is that they know the truth now. They know that their empire is built on sand. They know that their way of operating is unsustainable. They know that you exposed something fundamental about their character, but they are paralyzed by the decision they have to make. Do they continue down the path they have been on, knowing it is hollow? Or do they do the terrifying work of actually changing who they are? The Two of Swords shows someone who is trying to avoid making that choice. They are sitting in limbo, pretending everything is fine, refusing to acknowledge the internal conflict that is tearing them apart. The blindfold in this card is particularly significant. They are choosing not to see. They are choosing ignorance over awareness because awareness would require action. Action would require vulnerability. Vulnerability would require admitting that you were right about them, and that is something their ego cannot handle right now. But here is the thing about the Two of Swords. You cannot stay in that position forever. Eventually, your arms get tired from holding those swords. Eventually, you have to put them down. Eventually, you have to remove the blindfold. Eventually, you have to make a choice. This person is buying themselves time, but time is going to run out. The truth you showed them is not going away. The dent you put in their empire is not going to magically repair itself. What I am also seeing with this card is that there is a part of them that wants to reach out to you. They want to ask you how you do it, how you manage to be so secure in yourself, how you manage to live without all the masks and games. But their pride will not let them. So they sit there frozen, stuck between who they have been and who they could become. The Two of Swords can also indicate mental stress, anxiety, difficult decisions weighing on someone. This person is losing sleep over what you revealed to them about themselves. They are overthinking everything. They are analyzing every interaction they have ever had with you, trying to pinpoint the exact moment when you saw through them. They are worried about what you think of them, even though they would never admit that out loud. Capricorn, this card is showing me that you have created a genuine crisis point in someone's life. Not because you tried to, not because you were malicious, but because your authenticity forced them to confront their own lack of it. They are at a crossroads now and they know it. Which path they choose is up to them. But the fact that they are even at this crossroads is because of the impact you had. Let me pull the final card too. See what the ultimate outcome of all this is going to be. Six of Swords is here and this is actually beautiful, Capricorn. The Six of Swords represents transition, moving on, leaving troubled waters behind. This is a card of necessary movement, of choosing calmer seas even when the journey is difficult. What this is telling me is that ultimately, everyone involved in this situation is going to move forward. You are already on your journey. You are already in your boat, moving toward better things. But this person, eventually, they are going to get in their own boat too. The Six of Swords shows a figure being guided across water, leaving behind stormy conditions, heading toward peaceful shores. There is a sense of sadness in this card, a sense of loss, because you are leaving something behind. But there is also hope, relief, the knowledge that what you are moving toward is better than what you are leaving. For this person, the Six of Swords represents the eventual acceptance of what you taught them. They are going to leave behind their old empire, their old ways, their old identity. It is not going to be easy. They are going to grieve who they thought they were. But they are going to move forward because staying in the troubled waters is no longer an option. You made sure of that. What I find really interesting is that the Six of Swords often appears when someone has reached their limit with a situation. They have tried everything else. They have resisted, avoided, denied. But eventually, they realize that the only way out is through. The only way to find peace is to make the journey, even if it is uncomfortable. This person is going to look back one day and realize that you were the best thing that ever happened to them. Not because you were kind to them, not because you validated them, but because you challenged them in a way no one else ever has. You forced them to look at themselves honestly. You showed them that their emperor had no clothes. That is a gift, even if it does not feel like one to them right now. The Six of Swords is also about mental clarity emerging after confusion. Once this person gets through their resistance, once they remove the blindfold from the Two of Swords, once they actually do the work of walking away from what does not serve them in the Eight of Cups, they are going to experience a level of clarity they have never had before. They are going to understand why their old ways never brought them real fulfillment. They are going to see how much energy they wasted maintaining an image instead of building substance. For you, Capricorn, the Six of Swords confirms that you are already on your way to something better. You are not stuck in anyone's drama. You are not waiting for anyone to validate you. You are in your boat, moving forward, focused on your own journey. The fact that you caused such a massive shift in someone else's world is almost secondary to your own growth. You were not trying to teach anyone a lesson. You were just being yourself. But that was enough. So where does this leave us, Capricorn? You just put a huge dent in someone's empire. For the very first time in their life, someone has made them question everything they thought they knew about themselves. Your authenticity, your strength, your refusal to play games, it all combined to create a moment of profound realization for this person. They are going through stages now: shock, denial, resistance, eventual acceptance. But regardless of which stage they are in, the impact you had is permanent.